Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Andrew Discusses. This is the video series where I pretty much talk about something, try to get a discussion going with you, the viewers, and see where everybody kind of has a general mindset of things. And this is also the video series where I still have yet to come up with a decent and compelling intro. I mean, I have a really good intro for my rant videos, for my review videos, my GBU, even some that I haven't come out with yet have a better intro. I just cannot, for the life of me, come up with a good intro for this series. But that's for another day. Today I actually want to talk about something that, honestly, I'm on the fence about. So, as a lot of you know, I am a mobile gamer. I have not shadowed this. I have not played this down. I haven't dumbed this down either. I'm a mobile gamer. And I got heavy into this watching YouTube videos of Marvel Contest of Champions. It was one of the apps that I really wanted to play when I was looking around for a tablet. And first off, I enjoyed the game. Notice how I say enjoyed. Yeah. But recently, I've been struggling with, do I want to keep the game or not? And there's been a massive update. For those of you that have been in the lurch and haven't been made aware of it, and it has affected a lot of players. And I myself was affected, but I'm going to explain in this video why it doesn't bother me now as bad, but still does. So, effective June 29th, Kabam put they basically stopped support for anything under Android 6.0. I think it was like iOS 10 and Android 6.0, there was no more support for. You couldn't play the game, you couldn't play the app, nothing. No downloads, no updates, nothing. If you already had it installed, it would stop working. And we got a warning of this months ago, and I was already planning a contingency plan. And my contingency plan was I had another tablet that had Android 6 on it, and I'm like, I could just go onto that, not a problem. Yeah, there was a problem. I couldn't get on that tablet. I downloaded the app, it installed, I went to boot it up, it went through do you want to continue your game or start a new game, because I'm signed in with my account, and all of a sudden it just refused to log on. I was like, oh, son of a bitch. Now, to be fair, I had already at this point been looking into getting another tablet anyway. And I finally did. I pulled the trigger on it. It was a little more than I was banking on, but this way I don't have to A, worry about any issues, B, it's the first brand new tablet I have ever owned, because the Dragon Touch that I had bought it was like 2 years ago doesn't really count, because of the fact that it was a refurbished when I bought it. So I'm almost sure it was a refurbished. I don't remember it being brand new, especially not for that price. So this is the first brand new tablet I own, and I went through today, because it came today. By the way, I'm recording this on a Thursday. It came today, and I set everything up. I went through the whole process of putting the apps on, at least a majority of them. I didn't get them all on yet because I have a slow internet connection. It was already taking too long. I at least wanted to test out, the other two apps that still functioned on my other tablet, but I just wanted to make sure that I could actually play these on this tablet. And I can happily, so I'm still good for SAOIF and Puzzles and Dragons, which makes me really happy, because that was at least the one that I was not going to give up come hell or high water. So I went to test to see if Contest of Champions would work on it. And yeah, it'll take it, because it's running Android 9, so it'll run it, and it doesn't have the x86 processor. So, well, the x86 CPU, so it'll run it. But I'm left with a dilemma at this point, and this is my dilemma. The more I'm thinking about this, the more I'm going in my head of, well, what's going to eventually happen when the app just dies? How many people, aren't playing it now anymore after this purge, or are unable to play it after this purge because their systems aren't compatible with the, app? Because there are some tablets out there that aren't compatible with certain games, even if they meet the criteria for the game, because there might be something in the coding of the tablet in one of the programs, a launcher or whatever, that will prevent it from loading. Dragon Touch is a prime example of this. You can't, at least to the best of my knowledge anymore even, you can't play Puzzles and Dragons on a Dragon Touch tablet. It refuses to load, and I've had that experience happen to me, so I know that firsthand. And it's just one of those massive questions of why. And when I'm sitting here thinking about this, and I'm like, okay, I could play Contest of Champions. I could go through the process, re-download it, download the update, go through all that whole spiel. But is it worth it anymore? And that's my main question. That's what I want to discuss today. Is it worth playing Marvel Contest of Champions anymore? Or is it now time to just let it go and just move on with my life? And for a lot of the other gamers, just move on and find something else to take up space on your device. For me, I've been playing this thing. I watched Pungens play it, and that's what got me hooked on it. I really wanted to play it. At the time, and I still kind of do, I'm a huge fan of Iron Man. And you can play as Iron Man in this, Superior Iron Man Infinity War, the regular Iron Man. I was like, oh, I love this game. There's some other characters on here. I had gotten a 4-star Hulk in one of my first pulls. I got really lucky, and it has been on my team ever since. I got a couple 5 stars. I never got a 6-star, but I got a lot of stuff that came in the game, including like freebies and that over time. And it's just one of those. I mean, this isn't like with Digimon Heroes or Lynx where the game was ending and I was upset because the game was ending. This game's still going. It's just a question of, is it worth playing it anymore? And one of the reasons why I bring this up is because the devs put out a diary. They made it public for everybody to see, to give everybody an idea of where they're going to be taking the contest. And I'm more or less concerned with how many people are left after the Purge. How many people are even going to be wanting to play this anymore? And is it even worth it to play it anymore? Especially with what they're going to be doing down the road. They are liable to easily tweak one thing the wrong way and end everybody's fun. So they explain about the champion design vision for what they wanted for each champion. Like, as part of getting ready to write this, the author's saying about they took the opportunity to reflect on the past and to make it sure that they had a good grasp of where they're coming from. But they've seen improvements in the processes at almost every stage. It's different making a champion now than it was back in 2015 when the game launched. The way they go about it is different, hence why they had to ditch anything below Android 6, and they did explain that in the release update notice that they gave everybody back in March. Hey, we have to do this. The contest is evolving. We can't keep giving support for this. And what bothers me is that I know of a couple apps on my that I actually had saved. One of them was Boruto X Naruto Ninja Voltage. And they had announced that they were going Android 6 only. That was going to become the base that you needed. And I uninstalled the app, and oh no, I can still download the app and play it yet on my old tablet. My old tablet ran Android 5. And then I'd read an article online that Google, in an effort to keep older devices going as long as they can, was fixing up a workaround by having a compatibility built into anything in the App Store, that if you download it from the App Store, it will have a compatibility yet to your device, where you'll still be able to play it even though the base requirement is this. Like, if it's just the OS, the base requirement is this, you could still possibly play it yet, or even still be able to play it. And that's what kind of gave me a small glimmer of hope, but in the back of my mind, I never discounted the fact that down the road I might end up either A, getting rid of the game, or B, just throwing my hands up in the air and saying, you know what, F this noise, and then just give up as it was. And that's kind of what I'm concerned about now. Is it a good idea to just keep going like this and this stands for like almost any app in general and anything really. When you get to a certain point that you feel like you can't go any further, is it worth trying to go and just keep spinning your wheels and never get out of it, or just say, okay, that's it, I give, and walk away? And with Contest of Champions, what I'm afraid it's going to do is it's going to go more towards a pay-to-win strategy. They already have a subscription service with it. That's the Summoner Signal. That was their basic. That was basically their version of the drug dealer's business model. And they gave it for free for people to try at least twice, because I was able to do it twice. And what it basically does is it gives you more stuff, and there's different aspects you can unlock. You have access to the black ISO 8 market, the black ISO market basically as well, and a lot of other stuff, extra experience and things like that. And the more I'm thinking about it, it almost seems like they only want people that are willing to put money into the game to play their game. But then at the same time, it also seems as though they're saying, well, we'd like players to stay. We want them to stay. We don't want you to go. But for the free players, it almost feels like we're there for cannon fodder. Or at worst, we're just there to make sure you have X amount of people in at a time to make the game more challenging. Don't get me wrong, I did appreciate the game for the aspect that it was. It was a 2D fighting game in a 3D-ish style setting, and it was a lot of fun. I did enjoy it. But this is my issue, and with them making these quote-unquote changes that they want to make down the road, and by the way, there will be a link to this in the description so you can read it for yourself as well, the dev diary here. They want to make the champions more desirable. They're Marvel characters. If they're not desirable now, they're not going to be desirable later. They have the Silver Surfer, because I got a 3-star Silver Surfer. They have Dr. Voodoo, Doctor Strange, Nick Fury, Iron Man, 3 different forms, Spider-Man in half a dozen forms, the Hulk, Red Hulk, She-Hulk, X-23, Wolverine, Storm, 2 different Cyclopses, they have 3 different Visions, 2 different Black Widows. In fact, I think there might actually be 3 of them now too. And so many more that we keep getting more and more characters added into the game. And what's bothering me is a few other issues. So there's also the whole Alliance War, which was their main selling point in this, that they want people to participate in the Alliance War. I did the Alliance War. That thing is unbalanced. I actually had to ban my alliance from even doing it. I said, this isn't worth it anymore. This is a joke. Because at the one point, we literally just got spanked. And there was nothing we could do to prevent it. We just got spanked. Because it's unfair and unbalanced that you could end up going up against an alliance that's like A tier. And you're like E tier. And they're just going to railroad you. It's a curb stomping at that point. There's the whole, oh god, there's so many issues that I have, that are kind of making me wonder, is it a good idea to just stop now? But you have the fact that the higher the story mode you go into, the more difficult it gets, but yet you need to progress further into the story mode to unlock certain features. The one aspect in this is that your champions get stronger with ISO 8 and Catalyst. But the problem is that you need gold to use both of those. You need the Catalyst, which you have to farm and basically grind to get, and you have to get the ISO 8, which again, it's grinding. The crystals are a fucking joke, in my opinion, with the whole, here's how the situation rolls. It is basically a roulette wheel. And you're thinking, okay, it's a roulette wheel. It makes sense. It's a roulette wheel. You put the crystal on, and it'll spin them all on the bottom. And when you tap the crystal, it'll slow down and stop. Most of the time, you could stop it. It will glitch it over 1 or 2 spots to prevent you from getting a certain champion. It's like, you're not entitled to this champion. We don't, you're not going to have this one. It's going, it's not for you. You're going to get this one instead. And that's basically so that they can make more money by you buying more units at the store. There's the whole alliance quests, which were the only other good thing in this game, but then they became a bit of a joke, at least to me anyway. I stopped even trying at that point. The alliances, I mean, they want to make improvements to this game. I can give you a few improvements to make. The first of which is with the alliances. Have it so that you get more than 1,000 help in a day. You get more than 1,000 loyalty. There are times when you will just burn out the help meter. If your alliance is heavily active, you'll burn that out in like one afternoon. And it's stuck like that for 24 hours. You're not earning anything. That's not worth it then. Why bother helping if you can't get something back? Oh yeah, you're just helping them get energy. Yeah, or they could just, wait the timer out. Or here's an idea. They'll just go, oh, I need energy for, to get back into the dungeons and get back, or not the dungeons, get back into the areas. They have items in there that restore your stamina and restore the energy. It's like, you don't really need the alliance members to help you with that. They did manage to get rid of one idea they had, and that was the part of the battle realm that will be specific to alliances only, because they couldn't get that to work right in their mind. They couldn't have it come to fruition. But they want to make more. They want to make the champions more desirable, and that's fine. But the champions are already Marvel characters. If you can't make a team with your favorites, there's nothing more you can do. But there's, it's easy. It's very difficult. But I like how they go, every summoner has different wants and needs for their roster. We're actively scouring feedback on what fights abilities need more / better counters, and targeting champions to help make them valuable to your roster. New tech is coming. Stay tuned for future posts. Well, what bothers me with this is it's more or less, here's how we envision this game. This is how we see this game playing out. Do we see it playing out the way you're telling us? No, because you're basically saying, hey, this counter should be able to handle this, or hey, we need to have this happen. And you're wanting to make your character OP to make it stronger than another person's character, and that's not going to fly. Choice doesn't mean complexity. This is the interesting part of this. They use the phrase, no champion can be strong if you can't understand it. It's annoying. This is basically my entire concept, like with Pokemon. I get annoyed when people are saying that, well, this Pokemon's pathetic. No Pokemon is pathetic. If you're able to battle with a team of Ditto, you basically are a master trainer at that point. Because, and I stand by this, if you're able to use an entire team of Ditto in a match, and I mean like a full-on 6-on-6 match, and you're able to use a whole team of Ditto, that means you're able to figure out and copy the opponent's moves, the opponent's Pokemon, and you now have the exact same moves that they have, and you're able to use them better and still beat them. That is how a trainer reacts. That means you're able to think on the fly. With other Pokemon, there's no such thing as pathetic Pokemon. Oh no, it's pathetic because you're used to battling with like the legendaries and the pseudo-legendaries and the upper echelon of the normals. And they're like, oh, these are low-tier trash. No, it's not that they're low-tier trash. It's that you don't want to come up with a strategy that can utilize what they can do. Yeah, sure, Pikachu can't take much of a hit. But if you train its speed, it has a chance of going first. If you give it a move that can guarantee a paralyzation or a paralysis on your opponent, hey, there you go. You have a Pokemon out there that can paralyze and dish out some damage, and it's faster than your opponent. That's an interesting concept there. But they also have things, though, with this. But that's what annoys me, is that they're like, no champion can be strong if you can't understand it. I find that annoying. But yeah, it's true. If you don't understand how the champion works, it can't be strong. It's also the fact that if you just figure out the basic powers the champion has, like if it's the Hulk, it's a science champion, figure out what its synergy is by looking at it, and then adding those members into the team to increase your power, there you go. It's that easy. But they're looking to move more of the complex decision-making between picking your team and starting a fight. Things like pre-fight and cross-fight abilities allow for decisions to be made without the time pressure and extra distraction of being mid-fight, or for your decisions, success or mistakes to have influence in later fights. If you're going into one of the battles, if you're going into one of the maps in one of the areas, they have down on there what characters, what classes each one is. They usually have that down. If you're going into a battle, just go down the thing, goes, enemies in this area usually are this. And it's down in the lower left corner. It'll usually tell you which one it is. You just pick the opposite of that. It's basically rock, paper, scissors in this case. Or better yet, let me go back to Pokemon again. It's basically Pokemon. Science is strong against Mystic. Mystic is strong against Cosmic. Cosmic is strong against Tech. Tech is strong against Mutant. Mutant is strong against Skill. And Skill is strong against Science. That's the whole circle. If you can't figure out that circle and know how powerful it is, know your champion's abilities, and at least get to the point where you can understand how the game works, you shouldn't be playing the game then. But that annoys me that they want to do that. But more stuff in a kit isn't always better. They want to introduce kits, I think, or incumbent something on here. They're working with the contest creators in the CCP, or Content Creator Program. Immensely helpful, apparently, and they're still continuing to strive to improve with things like the recent deep dives with Dorky Diggity Dave and Kabam John. Yeah, look, they're basically dry humping themselves and at the same time figuring out how to make more money. That's how I read that. Interactive but predictable. That's true. That's the next thing here. They want consistency on how abilities are worded and interact across different champions, buffs, etc. Clear reference for and communication of the rules of the game. They have constantly had to go out on a limb and go, nobody should be using third-party add-ons. Do not cheat this game. We will catch you. They've said it so many times, I have it burned into my memory. There's a chat feature. If you really want to fix this up, improve the chat function. Yes, I won't deny the abilities should have a better wording. Even I can't understand them. Most of the time it's, okay, can cause damage. You just use the ability, figure out what it does at that point. They want to invest in cleaning up of older, inconsistent abilities that don't follow the rules. In other words, they're going to be purging abilities off of characters. They're going to be nerfing characters. And they're going to be changing up how the game is played again. And then we go into balancing. And this is what definitely gets me. This is where I want to talk about right here. They're looking into add value in underperforming champions. So they want to add value to the underperforming champions. Champion update strike team to focus just on this. Nerfs will occasionally be necessary. Primary goal is to buff up the bottom end of the roster before any potential nerfs. Here's the thing. If you're honestly more concerned about making the champion stronger and basically piss-whipping the players into getting further in the game with less effort, you're not doing it right. Nerfs will occasionally be necessary. Yes, it's a fighting game. It's basically an MMORPG in a way, except for the role-playing part. It's basically just an MMO, or an MMOF, massive multiplayer online, fighting game. So it's an MMOFG. I know there's an actual acronym for it. I just don't know what it is, but there's that. They want to meet, investing in new champions, having some of the game designers come along, change on how they can do this. But then we get this. They want to do a buff roadmap here. And they want to basically tune up the champions. And this is how they want to do this. There's going to be 4 different things. It's going to be balanced, tune up, update, and overhaul. So, how to work his balance is champions that are good enough for now or better. Tune up, no ability changes, just tuning the numbers like Torch or Sentry. Update, numbers and minor ability changes, but largely the same kit a la Red Hulk and Carnage. And overhaul, whole new kit times. So basically, think Hulkbuster and Colossus. They recently just upgraded the Hulkbuster, which is the main thing that came out prior to the update. So they're starting out with a 3-build rotation, which will be build 1, which is going to be 1x overhaul, which we just got with the Hulkbuster and what was the other one they said? Colossus. So that's 2. The next one will be tune up, which they actually have down on here. Oh wow, they actually have lists on here. Okay, this will be fun. And then build 3 is 1x update, then back to build 1, and then just repeat that whole process. They're kicking off with a bang with not 1 but 2 overhauls. Like they said, the end of August we're going to get another one. In September, version 28.1. Then October we're getting 28.2. They're going to tune up Punisher 2099. Gambit and Falcon are getting a 2x upgrade in version 29.0 in November. And I will admit, I do like the picture of Gambit that they have here in this thing. That is a pretty cool picture, but it's not enough to sway me in this issue that I'm having here. But, yeah, they're trying their damnedest, I'm not going to lie. But like I said, what I'm more concerned about is how they're doing this. But, yeah, they're going to be messing around with Magneto. It's going to be both of them. The full kit overhaul. Magneto's going to focus on his villainous side, hunting enemy metal champions, and the Marvel Now Magneto will focus on his redemptive side, enhancing metal teammates. So one's good, one's evil, basically. And then there's like champion teases. This entire, I'm not even gonna lie here. This entire dev diary is basically, this is how it feels like to me. It feels like them just jacking it and we're feeling it. Like they're just getting off on this and we're supposed to endure it. There's the whole crystal update, which I think is a joke. Short-term base pull tuning, they're going to be screwing around with it. I'm just more concerned at this point, is this worth it anymore? That is honestly what I'm wondering. Is this even worth it anymore? Is it worth having the game installed? Is it worth the time and effort? I mean, the dungeons, the maps and areas that you have to go into to get the stuff are a joke. There are some sections that are closed off. There are other sections that are blocked off. Some sections that you can't even access. Other areas that are just complete and total middle finger moments. And this is what I have to wonder. Is this worth it? Is this honestly worth the time and effort to basically, have the game in and play it anymore? And plus, if you're not on Android 6, or if you are on Android 6, but you're running x86 CPU, so basically, so long as you're not running that, and you're on Android 6 or higher, you're able to play the game, but anybody below that, or anyone that's running the x86 CPU, you've been ostracized and purged. They don't want you anymore because, you have to upgrade your system to play their game, or just stay away from us, is what they're basically saying. I get the idea you have to upgrade the stuff, have to change the stuff up, but at the same time, what bothers me is I think they're changing too much of the game, And it's changing it in too fast of a concept that nobody's going to get used to it. When you upgrade and update a game, the best way to do it is to update it slowly, integrate slow things, and like make them somewhat important. Like put out an update where like a character gets a massive update. It's like one character. Then for like 2 months, if it's like a monthly update, then 2 months after that, it's just small updates like, hey, look, we've added this or this to this champion or to this character. Hey, we added this to a little area. You can check this out. Or, hey, we added a new crystal that's available. Or we added a new, training area or something. Like a practice area. That's what bothers me, is that with this, it's basically gung-ho, guns a-blazing, dive in, and unless you're, down with what they're doing, and you're 100% with them, they don't want you to basically play the game. And it leads me to wonder, with the Purge, it's probably knocked out a good chunk of people. I don't know how many, but at least a good chunk. I know at least one player that can't play it anymore, and I'm kind of on the fence now as it is. So that's at least 2. I don't know how many more. Please let me know in the comments if you're unable to play the game anymore. I'd like to know. But with the number of players that they probably lost because of the Purge, the announcement of the upcoming updates that probably aren't going to thrill people to wanting to stay, and any other issues, because there have been issues in this game. From lags, connections being kicked off. I mean, I could literally have my tablet, even my older ones, right next to my router. And I have no issues connecting to the internet. I had no issues connecting to any of my other apps. I go into Contest of Champions, and the app is telling me that I'm having an internet issue. And I wasn't the only one having this. There were several others that were complaining about it. And it's like, oh no, we can't do anything about that. And even with my new tablet, which is running Android 9, I'm still having that. I saw the little logo in the corner this afternoon when it was downloading. And I was looking to see if it at least run. And I'm like, this is a joke, right? This is a freaking joke. You've got to be kidding me. It's like, I can't it's like, it's telling me I have an internet connection, an internet issue. There's no way I have an internet issue. There's no possible way. But that's my issue that I'm having. They still have too many bugs in the main part of the game that they haven't addressed. There's too many issues in the back end of the game. You ostracize players by purging them out to make your game better for your standpoint and possibly not the player's standpoint. So my question, once again, where I started off in this long-ass rant, is it worth it anymore? Is this worth playing? I mean, Kabam has some other apps out there. They might be worth playing, but is Contest of Champions worth playing anymore? Or is it time to finally just let this one die and let it go to the app graveyard? Don't get me wrong, the app graveyard is a horrible place for any app to go. I mean, there's at least 4 apps that I know of that wound up there. And it's really sad, too, because some of those I really miss. But is it worth it? That's my big question. Is it worth it? Is it worth even going through and doing the app anymore? I don't know. That's what I'm on the fence about. Because all these changes could, basically turn other players off, and they could just go, you know what? This isn't worth it anymore. You're just basically upgrading characters and upgrading ones that, should have been upgraded a while back, but it's not enough now to thrill me. And you're going to change up the aspects, and then all of a sudden somebody on the dev team could go, wait a minute, now this character that's getting a bonus off of this character that we just did an overhaul on is now getting a massively, is now overpowered. We have to nerf this one and bring it back down into level. And then there's more issues that'll arise that's liable to turn more people off, and then you're not going to have an app anymore. So is it a good idea to just ditch the app now and wash my hands of it, say thank you for the time and effort, thank you for the enjoyment that I got, and just walk away, or continue trying and ride the storm out to the very end like the band on the Titanic. That's my question. But I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do you think it's a good idea to just keep going forward with this and try your luck to see if it'll get better or worse, or just throw your hands up in the air and say enough's enough, to hell with it? Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts are, and until next time, I'm Andrew Rhodes, and this has been Andrew Discusses.